So we have a team of airmen here helping at Galpin Auto Sports. They were hand-selected from their peers and their superiors, but now they can bring their expertise and put it into these cars.
What we have is a fiberglass overlay that's gonna go over this and seal all this, so we were just trying to make clearance, so it really doesn't matter if we take out a little bit extra as long as it gets covered up by the fiberglass cowl that goes on the inside. I'm gonna trade you sides, sir. And another way that ties into the job is, the whole idea is you don't want to take away structure that's gonna hold that aircraft together, because when they're going into G's and they're putting a lot of load and stress on the aircraft, you don't want it to crumple like a tin can. So it looks like here and here is good, but on the side maybe a little more trim.
These custom car builds that we're doing, it totally relates to the aircraft work that I do. I manufacture brackets that we have to make them specific for each aircraft, kind of like these cars we're working on.
So these are the 3 monitors that are gonna go in the stealth car we're making. The center one's actually a touch screen, so it's easier to access all the controls and everything.
My name is Deandra Basile. I'm an Airman First Class in the United States Air Force. This is the material that's gonna provide us with the image for our heads-up display. It's like a 9.5.
Probably gotta be a little bigger.
This week we have the airmen here helping us out on the cars. They've been really inspirational to the project. They've got a lot of insight. They got a lot of technology that we didn't know about. I joined the Air Force back in 1991, and I went to the Air Force really to learn and refine my skills as, being an electronic technician. Being able to give back to the Air Force was really, really important to me because they're the ones that started me doing what I do right now.
One of the most important things that the Air Force instills in its people is teamwork. And that's what we're trying to instill here with these young men and women, is the teamwork between the Air Force, Galpin, the Airmen, Mad Mike, everybody come together to finalize this product.
We're gonna have to cut this today and put extensions in here.
This was modified because they put them aftermarket headers on there, which tend to be wider. So when we mounted this onto them, it was like 2.5 inches shorter. Spliced in a couple pieces, so now everything fits. Today I'm working with Cooch. He's got 40+ years of experience. Even today, with what little time I've worked with him, already taught me a few new tricks to the trade. This is amazing. I've never seen this before, Cooch. We're gonna bore out this piece of steel, and we have to make the inside hole larger to accept the steering stem. This is a sleeve that we use to go over the steering column. It's for support. Without it, the steering stem would just be really loose in there and unsafe.
These cars need to be amazing, and they need to stand out, but what good is something if it's beautiful, but you move it 5 feet and it falls apart? They had to come up with a way to get ventilation, get air into certain components like avionics, electronics, things that needed to stay cool, but they couldn't have them in the wind creating turbulence. They needed sleek bodies. So they came up with this idea, which just kind of vacuums air into it, just the least turbulence.
We're gonna put an actual home air conditioning unit in the trunk, so the car doesn't have to be running. These ducts are gonna grow and run into here. It's gonna be the inlet for the air conditioning on both sides. Have you actually climbed in?
Not yet,
Oh,
sir.
have a seat.
I got the idea about 3 years ago, hey, I'd like to take aircraft parts and put them in my car. So I got this stick grip from a boneyard so I could use it as a shifter. And so I said, I would never sell this part, I would never give it away, but for the honor of the Air Force, I will give these parts away.
All right, guys. What'd you guys get done yesterday?
We cut off the floors yesterday. We need to finish that up as well today, too, so.
Oh, did you get one done?
Got one done, we gotta finish up the other one.
Who cut it?
Got it, Dave.
Oh, Dave, man. Cooch. Gotta hook him up, man.
Yeah, man, he does everything.
Dee and Ortiz and myself, we're gonna be working on the Challenger, mapping out the system to charge the back batteries, just doing a whole bunch of layout. It all has to go together like a big puzzle.
Let's see if this fits.
There you go. The Challenger is more of the technology, cyberspace vehicle, and you look at it and it just looks really high-tech.
We went inside the Challenger, basically planning the monitor for the heads-up display. The car is gonna have 2 cameras, and the screen is gonna project those images.
Dee is, I won't say she's as good as me, but She's pretty close. She's done some things that I've never seen before in my life.
Money in the bank.
Yep, now the floor panels are mounted in, we can get the seat put in.
Well, from what I learned by watching these airmen these past couple weeks is they're out there working a little bit, trying to use their expertise and knowledge. They've got a little bit of everything that they put into these cars, and we're hoping that once everything is said and done and they see the final product, then they'll understand exactly what the purpose of this was and why we did it.
Having the airmen around really helped us out with a lot of the design elements on the car. Considering they get to see a fighter jet on a daily basis, unlike us, it really allows them to give us the design cues necessary to make it look exactly authentic.
We're still in the sheet metal phase of this. We have a lot of work going on outside of the car, but it's not quite ready to go into either one of the cars yet. We're still working on sheet metal, fabrication, exhaust systems, motor work.
We still have the metal fabrication on the Challenger, all the dash mounts, the air conditioning in the back, all the battery racks, the mounts for all the components in the back, the speakers, the amplifiers, woofers, and stuff like that.
My God, that is the largest tire manufactured to date. This is a 345/35/20. It's the biggest tire that you can buy right now on the market for the street. Like the Viper, now the new Enzo Ferrari is a 335. This is actually 345. This is it. You don't get much badder than this.
Well, basically what we did here is I finished up installing the cams, and I'm trying to make sure that everything's running properly.
Hey, Greg, what you doing, man?
Hey, Mike, what do you think of this?
Wow, man. I like that.
What do you think of that?
So far on the Mustang, we've got most of the wide body kit completely done on it. All the engine and performance modifications have all been done to the vehicle. A lot more horsepower, a lot louder, sounds aggressive.
This is the sound of my dreams, man. I love this stuff. See, Mike likes wires, I like noise. Yeah!
What still needs to be done on that Mustang, complete interior. We've only got the seat set in there. It's got to be actually fabricated. The dash, the gauges, the switches, the motorized steering wheel, the rest of the body kit's got to be painted and put on.
A lot of the fabrication that's is involved in building a car to make it look kind of like an aircraft is really complicated, actually. Obviously, you got to have everything look like a cockpit in the end.
The car is going to have full wireless internet. It's going to have a full computer in there. They're going to actually have working aircraft gauges in the cars, whether it's turning the lights on the headlights, turning the dash lights on, making the audio work. It's all going to actually integrate with the Air Force style gauges. All new cars, they're like very high tech now. Everything's got to be done on a laptop and a computer. Actually, hopefully when the Air Force guys get here in a few days, they're going to help us with the electronics and the programming of the car.
So what we did is we actually took the Challenger's front nose grille and brought it to the back element. Kind of gives the rear end a little more dimension. Instead of just having a flat, simple exhaust exit, we've eliminated the factory exhaust and now going to reroute it towards the top section.
The wheels and tires on this car are the most unique things we've ever done. In fact, nobody's ever done this. And they're completely carbon fiber, one-piece solid. That's got to be done. The suspension's got to be done. The exhaust hasn't been done yet. Some of the biggest challenges we have right now, time. We're not going to put this thing together, and then these things are not going to work. This is a custom, one-off, high-tech project. You can't get this anywhere other than Galpin Autosports with the team of the Air Force. See, we couldn't have done this without the Air Force guys. Right now, we really need them. Without them, actually, I don't think I can get the car finished on time.